How can I break up with my boyfriend who will become homeless without me? Damn, that really sucks. He refuses to work. He's not worth it. My ex and I are trying our relationship again. I don't know if we should keep doing it. That is an insane thing to say. Okay, elephant in the room. I have new hair. Yeah, but it's neither here nor there. We don't care about my new hair. We'll see it in another video. But today we're filming something that I wanted to film for so many weeks. But I've always been like, nobody cares, but I do. So I'm gonna film it. Today we're talking all about love and relationships and friendship, but with a little bit of help from Reddit. For as long as I can remember, I always found the job of being a psychologist so fun, until I realized that I was too much of an empath and I would probably cry with the patient during their sessions. So I just stopped right there and I decided to redirect. I've always been the shrink in my friendships. Why not be a shrink to people, random ass people, I don't know, on Reddit. I love Reddit. Always so good. It brings out the tea. Sometimes when you want to see the tea from behind the scenes, you go to Reddit. It's just amazing. So I know it's a new video, it's a new concept, but if you like the video, please leave it down below. Tell me if you want me to do more of it and maybe I'll make it a series. So let's hop into the video. Okay, so let's already hop into a serious one. How do I enjoy being single and trust that I will eventually find someone that is right for me? Very interesting. I, 23-year-old female, am a serial dater. The longest I've gone without dating anyone is 4 months since I was 18. I was in 2 serious relationships that lasted 4 years and 9 months. Tried casual dating and dating apps and didn't enjoy how shallow it was. A few months ago, entered a relationship with someone from work and we started off as friends until he asked me out. 30-year-old man. I told him about my history with dating and how I want something serious, and I'm naturally caring and only want to give my affection to someone who deserves it and wants me. Is that me? He said he understood all this, respected me and accepted me in a way no romantic partner ever did. I thought I finally found someone who is able to truly want me but is also supportive of me. I was able to blossom and truly be myself in this relationship until he broke it off last week because he said he didn't feel a deeper feeling with me. He was waiting for a when you know moment with me and he said it never came. I am no stranger to these types of remarks, as one of my serious relationships broke up with me because he said he was waiting for a spark or a sign to fall in love. I have studied attachment theory and I have gained experience to know these feelings don't exist. I see relationships and the love in it as something that develops with time as you invest more care into it. In this moment, I knew that even though we both can be ourselves around each other and are supportive of each other, I can't be with him because I'll never be enough for him, even though I've spent time taking care of him after he went through a car crash and she flew to his city to care for him. I have no hard feelings about all this. Even though I am right now healing from the disappointment of the outcome, I have forgiven him for everything because I know he never had bad intentions. I met this person when I wasn't looking to be in a relationship and we started off as friends, but we met a few days after I decided to end all my casual streaks to focus on myself. I learned from this short-lived relationship how freeing not pursuing someone is and how I don't like how shallow dating can feel. Now I'm entering a new period where I really want to focus on myself, my career, and my friends. I'm also trying to heal from this relationship while still remaining friends because we work at the same place. But it feels really scary to be heading off into the unknown and not actively pursue romantic connections. I'm not going to completely shut myself off from relationships when the time comes, but it sounds like I'm putting so much faith in the universe, which again is scary, but I'm not in control of when I meet someone again. Does anyone have advice on how to truly enjoy being single and hold on to that there will be someone out there who will respect me and appreciate me, but would want to commit to me too? Girl, I myself find dating apps a little bit shallow. Like I would definitely rather meet someone just naturally or in the wild. So I understand how the casual dating of it all is just not a thing for you. First of all, God has a plan for you always, But also I come from myself and saying that if I have all this love in me, if I have all this love to give, this love exists in someone else too, because I know this love exists because I exist. I think we're putting so much pressure on ourselves because society has created a timeline for us. It's crazy how society gives us timelines for things that we truly, in retrospect, cannot really control. Yeah, you might like someone, will they like you back? We don't know. Yeah, you might find someone super attractive, you might want something with them, but maybe the time is just not right. Like, timing is also a thing. Everything happens for a reason. So I don't think you should feel bad or feel stressed for anything. Just do what you love. Always do what you love. Go on dates with yourself, and eventually your right fate will happen to you. There will be someone for everybody, as long as you put yourself out there, meaning that you just go and do the stuff that you love doing. Someone once told me, or I heard someone say once, that if you want to find someone, like if you want to meet new people, you have to go some places you love, and go frequently. If I love reading, maybe I could go to a cafe and read at the cafe multiple times. Some people meet at the grocery store, some people meet at the freaking library, and I wish that for you. I wish that for all of us. So how do you enjoy being single? First things first, date yourself. Actually plan dates for yourself. Think of like a fun date that you would have loved to do with someone else, and just go do it yourself. Literally go do it yourself. You'll feel so liberated when you stop centering your life around men. Sometimes you don't have news. Sometimes life gets boring because there are no other like struggles, you know? Maybe you feel like, oh my god, like my life is so boring, like my DMs are dry, my life is so boring, I have nothing to tell to anybody. But sometimes a boring life is way better than having to deal with any bullcrap that somebody's son will give you. Dating yourself will revolutionize the way you see yourself and the way you calculate your worth. So go on dates, find new hobbies, try to be a better person 1% at a time, 1% per day. One day you just won't think about it that much. I've dealt with someone that said that like he couldn't see himself loving me, and that hurt. That freaking hurt. I know. At the end of the day, it's still something I can't control. So never discourage yourself with things you cannot control, and take back your power through things that you can, which is hobbies and just rediscovering yourself. And there's a difference between being lonely and alone. So I hope that you find grace and you find happiness in aloneness. And once you do, this will not even be a struggle anymore. I've been chatting with this guy for a while now. Initially, I wasn't really interested and didn't think we were compatible, but I decided to give him a chance anyway. Even though we've been talking for weeks, he hasn't brought up the idea of going on a date. What could be the reason? Talk a lot, send pics, and he hangs out with his friends every week, but he hasn't asked me out yet. I don't want to seem pushy. We live kind of close to each other, only about 20-minute drive away. He's always telling me how much he likes me and flirting, but it feels like our relationship is only through phone conversations. Is this a red flag, or is it just too soon for dates? So you're saying that you weren't really initially interested in him, which, girly, same. It's always like that. You're like, and then you're the one that's more interested in him. It switched and you're like, fuck. But you're saying that you weren't that interested in him. So is it just an ego boost that you feel because he actually likes you, and maybe you're like just bored and you want him to reciprocate that lust for you and wanting to see you so much, and that's where you're like, okay, so you like me, but like you're not asking me on a date? Like, how was that? Like, what? That's weird. But would you have been more interested in him had he asked you for a date? Then you say that you talk a lot, you send pics. I mean, you don't want to seem pushy. just ask him to hang out like your buddies. Like you just said, you guys are friends, you've been talking. I feel like honestly, maybe he doesn't want to go on a date with you. Maybe he's just comfortable with the relationship you guys have right now. Maybe he's not ready for a committed relationship. Maybe he just likes a casual kind of dating. So maybe just hang out with him as a friend and see how he's acting, what he wants. Don't say it's a date or anything. Maybe you're scared of asking to hang out because you are kind of in a situation of power, because you know that he likes you. And so you're kind of scared that if you ask him to hang out, he might reject you. And so the power dynamic would flip. Ask yourself, like, is it because I just want him to want me, or is it because I actually to have something with him? Because if it's the latter, then he might not be an asshole. He just doesn't want to develop anything further. He's just comfortable with what you guys have. Now, if he's been like flirty and everything, which I think you said, he's always telling you how much he likes you, then now I would probably tell him about your boundaries. Maybe tell him, like, I've noticed you've been like flirty a little bit. I'd probably be frank about it, to be honest. You know, the back and forth of flirting is kind of annoying to me personally. So I would probably be like, I've noticed you're kind of flirty sometimes, and I just want to let you know that, like, if you want to be friends with me, I totally understand, but it's a boundary of mine to, like, maybe stop the flirting because it's giving mixed signals. But if you want to see this connection further, maybe you should ask me out, or just ask him out. Like, I think being frank and communication is one of the biggest thing that could save anything, and could you save yourself time. To answer your question, what could be the reason, is that he's just comfortable with what you guys have. Also, maybe he's just giving you space because he's collected that you are not that interested. Text him, so like, when are we seeing each other? And maybe it'll turn into a date, maybe it'll turn into a hangout, and you guys will just talk it out. Should I stop being friends with her? That's the problem. Me and my friend met at work, and we've been friends for about a year now. In the middle of our friendship, she started dating a guy from our job. It was cute at first, but then all we ever talked about was her boyfriend. I was understandable at first because this was her first boyfriend and it was new, but then it started to become all our convos for months. Every time we hung out or talked was spent talking about him and their relationship issues. I kind of got fed up as I kept being put in the middle of things that wasn't my place, since it wasn't my relationship. So I was honest and told her she didn't feel like she was talking about him too much, but she agreed to not put me in the middle of their business anymore. After this, she would talk to me less. We would barely hang out. Every time I would vent to her about my issues, it was little reaction or conversation. Then she started talking about her boyfriend again, little by little. We don't work together anymore, but we still keep in contact, and I feel like she only responds to me when she wants to talk about her boyfriend now. So I kind of stopped hanging out with her. She recently started responding back more because she felt like her boyfriend was cheating. Then it turned out he was. Ooh. So now she wants to hang out, but she's more prominent about hanging out more than usual because she wants advice. I just don't have the energy, and I feel like she is being selfish because I just told her I got laid off from my job and I'm trying to figure out my life right now, and all she said was, do you have time to call me later? Because she needs advice about her ex cheating and he wants her back. But I feel like I have more important worrisome things to think about right now. She probably is going to take him back, which is why I don't feel the need to be on the phone for 2 hours about it. I understand she got cheated on, but she hasn't asked about me, about my problems for months. All we ever talk about is him. I feel like I shouldn't be friends with her anymore. What do you guys think? Damn, that really sucks. First of all, it's not an abnormal thing. If you love someone, you will want to talk about them. Like, that's a normal thing. That's totally fine. But there's a little bit of fine line with being like obsessively and only talking about your significant other to your friend and just talking about it because it's in a conversation. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I just can't deal with people that only talk about their boyfriends anymore. I just cannot. If I were in your situation, I would probably just stop talking to that person, because first of all, you're not a friend if you don't care about me. Because blatantly, she doesn't care about you. She wants you as a therapist. She wants you to listen to her, and that's it. Once you say something about yourself, she's like, okay, that's enough. You said enough. And then she'll just continue to talk about herself. So it's a matter of, do you feel mentally prepared or have enough energy, mental energy, to listen to someone only talk about them and their boyfriend? Especially because he's not even the reason of your guys' relationship. He shouldn't be the root of your conversations, your main conversation. Talking about boys and love and everything as a hopeless romantic is always fun, but my best friends' boyfriends are not my friends. Borderline, it's like HR, you know? But to answer your question, that is not your friend. If she only texts you when it's beneficial for her, oh my god, leave that in 2023. Actually, leave that in 2017. We don't need that. We need friends who uplift us, and vice versa. We need friends who are ambitious, who have something else to go for than just men. Decentralizing your life from men will change your life. It will drastically change your life. And so having friends that are boy crazy, it's never going to work. First thing I would do is talk to her. Communication is always key. Tell her, I feel like you don't really pay attention to my life and my situation. I feel like we talk a lot about your boyfriend and your ex and all things you, but I don't feel heard. I don't feel that you listen to me. Maybe you're hearing certain things when I talk, but you're not listening. Check if she acknowledges it, or if she directly goes in the defense mode. That's a red flag. If she's receptive, I give her another chance. Sometimes your friends are boy crazy and you don't even realize it, and then when you tell them, they're like, ooh, that's a bad look, and they change. But if they don't, you got your answer. Like I would leave that girl with her man and let her do her thing. Okay, next one. 23-year-old female. How can I break up with my 29 male boyfriend who will become homeless without me? Girly pop. Okay. I've been dating my boyfriend for a year now. I love him as a person and a friend. That is why we have lasted this long, but we are incompatible as boyfriend and girlfriends. Overall, I can't see myself with him, like marriage, and I know that is his intention with dating. Personality wise, we work well together and have fun, but our work ethic, money management, cleaning preferences, etc. are very different. Recently, the love has evaporated from our relationship. I feel like he has stopped putting in effort. He doesn't initiate anything. This leads me to not want to put in effort because it feels like I'm begging him to love me. I understand relationships aren't always 50-50, but it feels like it has been 80-20 for much longer than it should. Unfortunately, I can't communicate these feelings with him because he gets angry and then gets sad, and then I have to apologize and nothing changes. Ooh. I know communication can be learned, but I've voiced these concerns with him about communicating, and his lack of action, accountability, I think tells me all I need to know. Now the crux of the issue is I let him move in with me and my family because he was going to be homeless because he refuses to get a job. He refuses? Okay, no. that, well, okay, that definitely changed. Okay, I know I'm stupid for doing it. There was several red flags, but like I said, he is a good person. With that being said, he doesn't have family friends in the area, so I don't know where he would go after we broke up. It's not fair to stay dating for either of us, but I'm also scared of his reaction. Overall, I know that he has an issue taking accountability. For example, he enrolled in a math class and he didn't have prerequisites for, and after he got removed, he didn't re-enroll in anything and blamed his college counselor for not making an appointment for him when that is his responsibility. Because of this accountability issue, I'm scared about how this is going to pan out. I feel trapped and I don't know what my next moves will be. Listen to me and listen close, okay? Come here. Come here. This man needs to go. You need to, first of all, talk to your family. You guys need to agree together on a way to arrange this if they're willing to help you. Have a conversation with him if you feel safe. But if you don't, definitely bring your family members with you if possible. Maybe stage an intervention, because frankly, he's 29 years old. It's not your responsibility to take care of him, to have a roof over his head. Like, he's not a baby. He's not your kid. He's nothing. Truly, like, he's just, at this point in time, he's just your roommate. I don't think you should feel bad for anything. Of course, you have love for him. You spent a year with him. That's not nothing. That's for sure. But to put all the responsibility of you, like, being the reason of him being homeless, you're not the reason. He could have done so much in his life to help himself, at least for any emergency situation, right? But he didn't. He refuses to work. That is an insane thing to say. An insane thing to say, considering he's living at his 23-year-old girlfriend's home. Like, weaponized incompetence is literally him. And you cannot allow this. Never feel bad for choosing yourself and choosing your well-being. Like, it's just normal. And truly, I know you think that maybe like communication can be worked through. That's great, but with everything you said, it's a red flag to think that, oh yeah, like maybe he's gonna change, maybe it's different. No, because he's 29 years old and he chooses to not work, and he gets angry when you just want to communicate, and he doesn't take accountability for the simplest things as taking a math class. He's not really gonna change until he decides to change for himself. Definitely kick him out of here. Yeah. My ex and I are trying our relationship again, but I don't know if we should keep doing it. My ex and I were together for 2 years. I loved him deeply. We broke up solely because it wasn't the right time in our lives for a relationship. After our breakup, we spent some time apart. I saw him one day and we began talking about our time apart and what happened. He was very honest and told me he had no feelings for me. Needless to say, that crushed me. Girl, it would crush me too. Like, what the? We started seeing each other some more due to mutual friends, and being together really was enjoyable for both sides. He told me he still didn't have any feelings for me, even though he knew I did. Okay? But he said he wasn't opposed to seeing where this could go. This right there. I don't like it. We'll see how things go. We'll go with the flow now. So we decided to try our relationship out for a month. We go on dates, hang out, talk 24/7, and are exclusive. As time has gone on, he's become more physically affectionate and complimented me a ton. Recently, I asked how he was feeling and he responded with, I feel like I have feelings. You feel like you have feelings? I asked if that means he has them, and he said no. Wait. He was out of town for a bit and straight up told me he did not miss me. This has confused me a lot, and I really don't know what to do anymore. Do I continue doing what we're doing, or should I just call this off before I get hurt worse? What does it mean when someone says they feel like they have feelings? Help. girl, I feel like he's just using you. How does he play like, oh yeah, I like you, and then oh, I don't like him, or oh, I like you, oh, I didn't miss you. He likes your attention. He likes the fact that you still love him. It's an ego boost. It's like a major ego boost. But once you get too close, he's like, ugh, no. I think that's avoidant attachment, because the second you get close, he's like, no. And also, he probably just doesn't like you that much. It hurts, but some things he said are way worse than just acknowledging that he's just not that into you. Don't give him more chances. He's not worth it. He said, I feel like I have feelings, to just keep you in his loop. Like he just wanted you to stay because he probably felt like you needed reassurance in some way, but he wasn't ready to tell you like, I love you, because he doesn't. And does he actually like you? I think you're clinging to the idea of what you guys could have been and what you guys were, and now you think that it could go back, or you think that like, oh yeah, like we had this vision and now we want it again, so it could only get better. But no, sometimes people, they just like things that are so easy to get, you know, like it's just for convenience. You're more than that. Know your worth and leave. Let's do one last one for the ride. I can't stop comparing my current boyfriend to my ex. Ooh. A few months ago, I ended a 2-year relationship. It was my first serious relationship. Recently, I got into a new serious relationship with a completely different person. He is passionate, caring, tender, and all romantic, funny, intelligent, comfortable in his masculinity, and most importantly, fully in love with me. Okay, girl. Okay. The two of them are very different, as my ex had his qualities and issues just like everyone, but after a bit, all I could see was his bad side. I became annoyed and angry at every little thing he did and started resenting him just as much as I felt his resentment for me. I am glad I'm not in this relationship anymore, but somehow I still miss certain parts of him and find myself comparing him to my current boyfriend all the time. Sometimes I wish my ex, C, was and acted the way my boyfriend, O, does, but then when I recently saw him, we didn't interact or acknowledge each other's presence. I felt the exact same thing I had felt for the past 2 years. Angry, scared, begging for his love, resentful, and like I was walking on eggs trying not to make him angry towards me. Then I think of O and all of the lovely ways he makes me feel loved, heard, and seen, and I just don't understand how I can still care and want C. It feels unfair to O, almost like I am betraying him in a way because he shows his full devotion to me and I just can't show him mine sometimes. I had this nickname that I called C all the time, so much so that my family and his started calling him by it too. Sometimes I catch myself calling O that same nickname, or worse, calling him C instead, which I know is horrible and is not voluntary. I just can't help it. I think I associate the name C and the nickname to someone I love, so my brain connects it to O instead, but they are two different people. I don't want to hurt O's feelings, especially by saying that I still care about C, because that isn't entirely true, but I just don't know what to do. Maybe I didn't give myself enough time to mourn that relationship. First of all, I think you're just going through grief. Grieving someone that is still alive is so different than grieving someone that has died, but it's just as hurtful and just as difficult. So don't feel like you should get over it. It's just a few months and you were in a relationship for 2 years with that person. Now, I want to ask, do you actually like O? Do you actually like him or love him? Do you love him enough to be in a relationship with him? If that's not the case, you might be trying to pick apart everything he does, because I guess he's a great person and you're just trying to find a way that justifies leaving him. When you end something with someone, with time, you only remember the good things. It always outweighs the bad because you kind of forget it and you're like, why did we break up? A mix of grief and this kind of effect that confuses you, and that's why you find yourself comparing him to your current boyfriend. but I don't think you should act on it. With time, it really fades down. Me too. I used to compare, and at a certain point it just stopped. It really just stopped because everybody's different and everybody has their own ways of expressing themselves and showing you love. It should be just accepted with open arms, but it just takes time and it's super normal. Like, it's just grieving. And I think you might have jumped into another relationship maybe a little bit too early for yourself, but you should actually wonder if you see yourself getting past it, because if you don't, you should definitely maybe leave O, because it's unfair to him, because he's really just opening up to you. And I think it's unfair to yourself too, because maybe you're not being honest with yourself. You might just need time alone. Just try to have this closure within yourself. Don't even try to find closure with that man, okay? Don't. And like, all the feelings that you are feeling when you see him, it's because it's still fresh, you know? A couple of months, it's still very fresh. So it's definitely normal, but you should never really act on them. I think I'm gonna stop here. It was so fun. I love Reddit. I love helping people, even though they might never see this video, but it's such a food for thought sometimes to read those things and give advice. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel because I do so many other videos that are so fun, and I'm going on a trip soon, so the travel vlogs are coming back. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.